Greetings and salutations, and I just saw spear. You can make spears now. This is the Woodless run. Can you throw them? I have to make one for science. I think you can. You can phalanx. The attack is slower. Imagine getting a shield with a spear. It'd be like a phalanx maneuver. It'd be great. No. But what am I doing? Open. I've been playing far too much Satisfactory. I'm sitting here pressing E to try to open it, even though it's F in Satisfactory. I've still been playing far too much Satisfactory. I'm trying to open things the improper way. Is it daytime or is it night? It's night. It's going to be going into nighttime. I really want to know if you can actually just... if you can throw it. Because if you can throw these things and then reclaim them, that'll be huge. Because then you don't need tridents anymore. You can just build spears. Dirt cheap spears to go and... I don't know. It's going to be cool. I'm going to go see. Go try it. Still too much Satisfactory. I know this because I just tried to hold shift to run. Well, I just cut that one off too short. That's fine. We'll just fix it in post or whatever. So there was this... I just threw that on the ground. There was somebody complaining about... I can't even say complaining, but they were voicing the fact that the price of RAM and everything is shooting up. And I may have mentioned this before in a different video, which is fine if I go over it again, because the price of RAM still isn't going down. And everybody's like, well, you hold on to your PCs, folks, because you're going to be having them for quite some time. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, well, why wouldn't you have it for quite some time? A PC is an investment. If you're sitting there replacing your PC every year and a half, there's a problem. But it's one of those things that... Wait, did they change the sprint key or something? Just threw that on the ground. Shift is to crouch. Usually it used to be double tap forward to sprint. Oh, it still is. You just can't sprint downstairs. Okay. Guess it makes sense. I didn't know you couldn't sprint downstairs. But no, I personally think that the PC gaming is going to do just fine with the RAM and the video cards. Just there's not going to be a market for them in a while because they're just not being made. These chipsets are not being made, and I think it's perfectly fine. People, there's a lot of people out there like doomsayers. They're kind of looking at it like, oh no, it's the end of the world because insert reason here because we can't get new chipsets. So gaming, they're like PC gaming is ultimately dead. But it's not. If you take a look at it over the past few years, what happened? You had a PC arms race that happened, right? You had developers making more graphically intense games because there were better graphics cards out there. We don't need it. I, for one, am happy that it's gone. But the price of RAM has gone insane. Let's see. What else? Battlefield 6 has hit an all-time low for players. And people are like, well, that's because they're doing nothing fun. Well, no, it's because you had everybody no life grinding the portals, and then EA closed the creation portals too late. Like they took too long to close it. The custom modes, right? So a bunch of people got their levels grinding on these custom modes. And by the time EA shut them down, the damage was already done. And now people don't make custom games because they're not getting supported in the same way they were prior. EA will fix it. But they're like, well, why on earth did RedSec, why on earth is RedSec not as popular? Okay, well, let me pose this. Okay. You take a look at Black Ops 7. Not even just Black Ops 7. You take a look at just Call of Duty as a whole on Steam, because that's the only place you can get actual metrics. Obviously, this is not taking into account Battlefield's PC, not PC. It's not taking into account Battlefield's console players, and it's not taking into account the console players or the BattleNet players of Call of Duty. So we're going to use the only metrics we do have, and this is why there's a whole contingent of people that are like, you can't count Steam metrics as the player count as to who's doing better. Actually, you can, because that's the only sample size you can work from. Because it's the only sample size that actually offers up numbers. So, what do we have? We have a group of players in Battlefield. About 60,000 of them, 70,000 of them. And these players are playing just your bog standard Battlefield or RedSec, but they're on Battlefield. So they count as players on the game. Okay. When you load in Steam and you load Call of Duty, it takes you to the Call of Duty launcher. The headquarters, as they call it. Call of Duty headquarters. And the Call of Duty headquarters counts everybody that's in the Call of Duty headquarters as playing the game. Whether it be Black Ops 7, Warzone, what have you, everyone that's in the headquarters is counted as playing the game. So you use those as side-by-side metrics, right? Those games are falling off and into obscurity because it's been done to death. And people are like, oh, well, we expected the Battle Royale, RedSec, to be very popular for Battlefield, but it wasn't. Why not? Well, maybe because everyone and their grandmother has done a Battle Royale? Perhaps if they did something new? Just a thought. If they did something new and had a brand new take on it. Maybe, just maybe, you might have some players to it. But as it stands now, everybody's just bored of it. Because there's... Let me see if I can throw this. Is it a charge? Nope. What does the alternative fire for the spear do? It's not doing anything. Nothing. Huh. Interesting. Well, we'll just leave it there. Anyway. People have to do something new. There's a reason why you take a look at, like, Claire, what is it? Expedition 33 or something 33. Whole bunch of people played it, right? And they loved it. Okay. What was it? What was it about the game that they loved? The gripping storytelling? The gameplay? Or that it was something that they haven't done in forever? Because if you think about it, right? Let's say you haven't done something in a very long time. Like, go to a theme park. let's say you haven't gone to a theme park in ages. So you go to like, I don't know. What is that? The one out in Ohio, Six Flags. I have no idea. Orlando, Universal Studios Orlando theme park, right? You haven't been to a theme park in ages, so you go to Universal Studios. I'll just use that as an example. And you get there, you're all excited because you haven't been there in a while. But once you've been there for a little bit of time, that excitement wears off. Now imagine, if you will, going to Universal Studios Orlando every year for a month. That's the Battle Royale. The Battle Royale is Universal Studios every year for a month. By the time you're there, you're done with it because you're just like, I've done this. I've ridden all the rides. I've done everything there is to need to do here. It's boring now. And that's it. That's why there's the problem. People have just gotten over it. They're just done with the Battle Royale. Now, if the Battle Royale, if somebody put a new spin on a Battle Royale, and there was like this new, I can't even say niche, but that's really only the word I could think of. If there was this new take on it, maybe like Base Royale, where each team has a base that they have to build. Each team of 4. Not like Fortnite build, but you know what I mean. Kind of like Rust. Takes longer. You farm up the resources. You have to build a base, and the storm goes in, and then goes back out. And when the storm goes back out, you have to go out and loot stuff, such as guns and everything that have been blown in by the storm. But you got to remember, you have to go back in to your base or conquer another base before the storm comes in and crushes you. That's what I'm saying. New spin on it. Make people build bases. Kind of have that RTS vibe to it too. Now, people would say, well, that wouldn't work because nobody would play it. It's possible. It's very possible that nobody would play it. It's very possible nobody wants to play it. But build something new. Right? You have to expand on what you know. I mean, everybody out there's done the creative survival, build this, build that. Look at Ark, for example. I've never played Ark, Survival Evolved, but I know that it exists. And I know that in Ark, there is dinosaurs. And I know that in Ark, it's kind of like Rust. Rust with dinosaurs, effectively. And I've played Rust, and I've played this. I've played a whole bunch of stuff. Been around a while. It's kind of the benefit of being around a while. You've played a whole bunch of stuff. But it's like build a new genre. Or alter a genre that currently exists and put a new spin on it. Add a new facet. Palworld, like with the whole temperature thing, you get too hot or too cold, you start taking damage. That's great. Start adding that to a survival genre, where your character has to eat. They have to get water. They have to have, let's just say, a latrine. They have to bathe, otherwise they're not going to be clean. And if they're clean, they'll get diseased. Really get into the minutia of taking care of your character. Make everything make sense, but then make there be a payoff that if you do something, that you can really do it. Like, for example, with Satisfactory. If you do it right, you can get nuclear power and conveyor belts and like Mark V conveyor belts and work toward nuclear pasta and the Nobelisks and everything. Like, have that payoff in a game where you have to start managing everything, including player sanity. Now, people say, well, what do you mean player sanity? If there's other players around, that's fine. your player's sanity will be better than if they weren't there. But if you're all alone, your character will start seeing things, illusions that aren't really there, and he'll start wanting to talk to them. Start adding that into games. Really start getting into the minutia of a game. Build a world around it. Like, take a look at what Valheim did. Valheim hit the scene, looked like absolute cobbled manure, right? Because it's pixelated and it's old looking. But yet it's a great game. People loved it. Why? Because you had to worry about carbon monoxide if you capped off your house. Your character could suffocate from the fire. And you had to feed the fire with wood. Constantly. But the fact that your character could suffocate if he got smoke inhalation. Little things like that are what really make a player want to stick around. Because it shows attention to detail. And having that attention to detail is not a bad thing in the games. In fact, it's a good thing. It's a very good thing. It's like they had this question, how to save cinema. Now let me tell you, there's a simple way to save cinema. Nobody goes to the cinema more than once, generally. You might go more than once. Somebody might go to the movies alone just to take it in for what it is. Or they'll go there for a date. The date doesn't turn out very well, so they'll date someone else, so they'll go to the same movie, right? Or you'll go as a family, or you'll go alone first, and then you'll go as a family, etc. So on and so forth. Right? I'm not a big moviegoer. Never have been. But let me elaborate how you save cinema, and how you make cinema, and the technology currently exists. It's not like it's going to be, like, cutting edge. You know, it's not like it's going to be amazingly impossible to achieve. This is stuff that's easily achievable right now in current cinema today. Because the technology exists. The cinemas would have to be smaller. Much smaller. More cinema, more cinema areas, meaning more cinema studio bays that you can walk into and watch a movie, but less seating per cinema. Okay? Now, I know what you're thinking. Quiz, how's that going to work? I got you. When you get in there, there is a setup for a VR helmet and a little voting tool, like handheld VR things that are attached to the chairs. Okay? When you get in there and you sit down, you are allowed to watch the movie with the VR helmet on. You put the VR helmet on and you can look around like this. And you'll be able to see in and around the movie scene. The person that you will be playing as, the person that you are in this movie, is you are the silent observer. So effectively, you're watching the movie from inside the movie. Your character's standpoint will be filmed with a 3D spherical camera, where it catches 100% of everything in every aspect around them. So you could look down at your camera's feet. You could look up, you could look anywhere. 3-dimensional camera. Spherical 360-degree camera. Now, when you film with a 360-degree camera, you get to watch the movie as it's playing out. Of course, the studios will have to change how they film, because you can't just have, like, this part of the set looking here and then nothing behind you, right? So the people would have to have their scenes ready, and they'd have to go in and go do it, and then the director wouldn't be there to tell them action or cut or anything. They would have to do it literally by time. Now you watch these people go in, or you go in there and you're watching the movie, and then it'll come up to a point in the movie, and it'll say, "What should we do?" And the characters will look at you, the silent observer, when they say, "What should we do?" And then you get to choose, almost like an American Idol voting tablet thing, options A, B, C, or D. One of those options will take you to a different part of the movie. All of those options will take you to a completely different part of the movie, which is going to be different from the previous options. So let's say option A, B, C. Okay, so let's make a movie about, I don't know, being a crime fighter, and it's a homicide, and you're looking everything over, and you're playing along with the detectives, right? You're part of the detective crew, and so you're looking around, and it's a whodunit, it's a mystery, like a psychological thriller. Okay, so you're looking around at all the evidence and everything with the 360-degree camera, and as you're looking around, they come up and they go, "So what should we do next?" And it'll be like, ask around, or it's like canvass the area, go review the evidence, head back to the station and question witnesses, so on and so forth. Each one will take you to a new part of the movie, at which point you get to see, as you're riding along and everything, you get to see how the movie's playing out. Now, as you're doing this, your movie is now unfolding differently than the person next to you. And that person's movie is unfolding differently from the person next to them, and so on. This creates replayability because the movie will have multiple different endings. You will go there and you might get ending 2 when there's 16. The thing is they don't really have to film more movie. All they have to do is just film the same amount of movie, because they're already filming the movie as is. So they just redo the scene and they do it differently when they go to leave. So like when it comes up to the choice, A, B, C, or D, like I gave earlier, right? You hit choice A, they go, the actors are doing that part of the scene, and then if you hit choice B, it's the same actors, same area, and they go, okay, well let's go canvas the area. And that opens up a whole new scene, and then they do that a little bit. But it won't take them any longer than it does to currently film the movie. You won't need as many special effects because the special effect is you are in the movie. You will have agency in the movie. You will be able to tell how the movie ends. And it will inspire people talking to one another after the movie's over. You'll be able to meet new people because you'll come out of the theater and somebody will be like, dude, that ending was crazy. And you're like, really? And then you'll turn and be like, I know, I did it. And you give your ending and they go, why? I didn't have that ending. I had this ending. And not every ending would be a happy ending. See? That's how you fix cinema. You make people have agency in the movies they're watching. And when you have agencies in the movies you're watching, you know how many times, you know what made me think of this? I sat there and we were watching Source Code, I think it was. It was either Source Code or Inception, one or the other. And they left it on the cliffhanger, right? And I said, you know how I would have ended that movie? And that's it right there. When you end it with, you know how I would have ended that movie. That's how you know this whole theory of how things currently work could work differently. Because then you'd be saying, oh, well, you know how I would have ended that movie? Here's how I would have ended that movie. And go from there. Give people agency over the films they're watching by giving them a choice. Even if it's the illusion of choice, because the movies are still going to end. Okay? You give them that illusion of choice and make them feel like they played a part in the film. They'll come back every time. You will gross more money in film than you have ever grossed before. All because the people feel like they're getting their money's worth. They're like, oh, I'm integral to the story. And you are. That gives the movie purpose. It gives the characters in there a tangibility that makes you feel like you could reach out and shake their hand. Right? It makes them appear tangible and connected to you. It doesn't feel like a complete disconnected thing where you're watching a square box. Now, not everybody will be able to do it because sometimes VR headsets give people motion sickness. And if VR headsets give you motion sickness, well, sorry, but you won't be able to watch the new wave of motion pictures in the theater. Unfortunate. But indeed, that is how you save cinema. And if I see somebody take this idea and run with it, because I've already posted this, and this is going to be posted on YouTube, yeah. So if somebody does this and makes a movie, and makes a 360-degree camera movie, and calls it revolutionary with a thing full of VR headsets, I'm getting money. Guaranteed. Now, if anybody's out there that's a filmmaker that has a 360-degree camera and wants to do this idea, I'm open to talk about royalties because it's an archetype. I know it's a movie archetype, and I know that you can't copyright an archetype, but I'm open to talk about royalties for the idea. I give you the idea to revolutionize a movie, you revolutionize a movie, and then when you go and you do it, guess what? I'm the brilliant mind that gave it to you. Don't you think I deserve something for being the brilliant mind that gave it to you? If I was a film director, it'd be a completely different story. I would do a film of my own. Problem is I'm not a film director. I'm not good at being a film director. I'm not even got a chance being a film director. It is one of those things. It's going to make you want to do it, isn't it? Because now most people are going to hear this idea and they're going to be like, wait a minute. He's onto something. Oh, yeah. Catch the wave. And it's all because I sat down and I said, well, this is how I would have ended the movie. That simple phrase is what got me thinking about it. Other than that, I wouldn't have been invested because I'm not much of a movie watcher. I'm hoping, and this is my honest to goodness hopes and dreams here, I'm hoping that people actually do that and do run with the idea. Mostly because I want to see people survive and thrive on something new. Like, I want people to realize something and say, you know what? This is the next thing. This is what we needed for this amount of time in the world. But we don't have that. Man, this hole's getting deep. How much deeper before I get to bedrock, I wonder. One thing's for certain, when I've dug it all the way down, I'm gonna put water at the end of it, at the bottom, and I'm gonna use it as a splash pool. That way I don't fall to my death. And of course, you'd have the people say, well, he's a revolutionary because of take a look at what he's thinking about when it comes to movies. I'm not a revolutionary. I'm not sitting here, you know, trying to reinvent the wheel. I'm merely giving people an idea and saying, you can do it. Anybody can do it. Anybody can make a movie and have it be a great thing. It's not hard. True story. I mean, I've already been at this a half hour, and it does not feel like a half hour. It feels like 15 minutes. But I've been at it a half hour, and I will be ending it soon. I put that in quotes. Soon. Hopefully, this series, when I get there, will be finito, and I hope that people enjoy it. I really do. This is like episode 10. I don't know exactly what episode it is. All I know is I've been at it a long time. Reminds me of the Titanic meme where she's sitting there and she's like, it's been 84 years. That's how it feels. Exactly how it feels right now. It feels like it's been 84 years. Using this guy as a using this guy's forge as an incinerator is just levels of craziness I didn't think I'd have to ever do. Because normally I just go and I build myself an incinerator, but seeing as I can't because I don't have wood and I don't have lava, we'll figure it out. You filthy animal. Sweet. But now I have. Wait a minute. I have enough for 2 buckets. That's the exact number of buckets I need, because then I can do unlimited water source. Okay, thank you. I was gonna say, if it's still raining, I'm gonna be upset. You know, the funny part is I have not died this entire time, so I could have technically done this on hardcore. No, wait, I did die, didn't I? Yeah, I did. I died once. Way back in the beginning. I haven't died since, though. So, that's a good thing. You know what they need to add? Compressed gravel. True story. Reason being, compressed gravel could make, like, semi-dense stone. You know what I mean? You hear that? I heard that. That was water over the top of a magma block. Which means I'm either near magma, or I'm near water, or I'm near both. Which means I gotta find diamond. Once I find diamond, it's pickaxe time, obsidian time, nether time, end time. Not as in the end, but as in like ending the game. This has been quite a fun little jaunt, to be perfectly honest with you. Like, I did not fully expect this to go this long. I thought, you know what, it's going to be... I thought it's going to be a couple of days, just a couple of episodes, 3, 4, and it'll be done. 3 or 4 episodes, that's what I thought. I thought I'll find a crafting table, I'll get everything done, crank this out in 3 or 4 episodes, 45 minutes apiece, because then I could just dig directly straight down, get down to, Found it. See, I knew there was something. Underwater cavern. Boy, there's a lot of that. Interesting. One of those things, it's like you almost want to dig a hole around it just to see A, how big it is, and B, just to expose it to the light. Tempted. Tempted to dig a hole around it. Notice the diorite? Notice the diorite next to a hazard? Now you know why it's called diorite. Because you're going to die alright. Look at them down there. Huh. Is that like headed to a geode or something? Because I've never been to a geode, so I'm tempted to just dig around it. Very tempted to just dig around it and just ignore it altogether. Because it's not even part of my primary goal. The primary objective is dig a hole, get diamonds, get to the nether, Well, so much for that. I'm trying to be supremely careful because I really don't want to go down there and just, you know, die. Not high on my list of wants. It's like Mambo number 5, except it'd be like Mambo number die. It's like, but I really don't wanna. And of course it comes down this way and it just opens right up, right underneath. Yep. Right underneath my stairs. Sure does. Now here's the fun part. I could seal this all off and still dig. Let the sealing begin. Because gravel has gravity. So you can just use gravel to seal it off. You know what I mean? Use gravity to seal it all off, dig it down, bail it all out with water, with the buckets, and you're good to go. So yeah, I'm going to continue digging all the way down. Straight down through this chasm. But I'm just going to seal it off as with gravel as I go. But that's going to be for another day. Because we're headed up to 45-minute mark, and we made some progress. We're still making progress, which is fun. It's fun for me. I mean, I don't know if it's fun for everybody else, but it's fun for me. I hope other people enjoy it. I really do, because I would hate for this whole series to end in a dud. To me, this is an amazing thing that I've done so far. I didn't think it was going to make it this far. I didn't think it was going to be as popular as, I mean, because some of the parts of it were popular, and I didn't think it was going to be. I honestly thought it was going to be that people weren't going to receive it very well. I thought it was going to be poorly received. But here it is. But I grab the iron here as soon as it's done. Can I put the bread in here and make toast? No. I thought maybe I could. Toast technology unlocked. But no, I hope everybody enjoyed this video, because I know I did. I hope everybody has a fantastic evening, a wonderful tomorrow, and as always, have a good one.